Welcome. What's up, Josh? What's up, Morris? Welcome to today's video where I tell you who to buy, sell, or hold, what players you should be going after, what players you should get rid of, and what guys you should probably hold on to just a little bit longer at least. Well, guys, if you're new to the channel, please give me a thumbs up, a sub if you like, or find this information beneficial. I think you will. There's a lot of names on here. Got to make sure to get the right players at the right price, because that's how the object of the game, guys, is to accumulate as much talent as possible. And a lot of people quit on talent. But here at Entourage, we do the opposite. When people are quitting on talent, we go ahead and buy that talent at a discount, and we form superpowers. That's what we're trying to do here, guys. Every week, just make our team a little bit better, a little bit better. And one way of doing that is through waivers, which I discussed yesterday, and another way is through trades. Well, guys, let's get into it. Starting with our buys, okay? So for the first buys, this should be pretty obvious, but I still get a ton of people that maybe you're new to the fantasy football game, but I even got somebody today. Should we worry about Hopkins? So I'm going to do a pair of teammates, Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, because they kind of go together. But Deshaun Watson's a great quarterback, guys. He is a top 5 talent, at least a top 5 talent. And it's almost been like a tale of two seasons. It's been like 30-point game. Then he had, 12-point game, then 30-point game, then 11-point game. I don't expect to see any more games close to 10 points, probably for the rest of the season. He's got weapons. The offensive line is still a concern, even though they, spent a first-round pick on this guy, Tyus or Howard or something like that, and they traded for Tunzel. So it's a little bit of a concern, but I notice with offensive line, sometimes it takes them a while to gel. They have to play with each other. Offensive line is the more reps you get together, the more you know how to move together. It's all about trust. So that takes some time. Just like in a relationship, trust takes time. Same thing with the offensive line, but I do expect them to improve. Plus, they face some pretty good pass rushes. The teams that Watson struggled against, mainly Jacksonville and Carolina, are two of the best pass rushes. Same thing with Hopkins, guys. Hopkins, the last 3 games that he's underperformed has been Jalen Ramsey, arguably the best corner in the league. Then it was Casey Hayward, definitely one of the best corners in the league, top 10 to 15, depending who you ask. And then Bradbury, who's arguably playing the best out of anybody. This guy shut down Mike Evans. Who did he play this last game? Oh, DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, he's shutting down everybody. I think he's got the lowest QBR or QB%, one of those crazy stats, but he's doing it, guys. Nobody is catching anything on Bradbury. So let's give them a little bit of a pass. Their body of work speaks for themselves. I think Watson was like the 3rd or 4th best quarterback last year, and I expect him to be at least that this year. So see, quarterbacks, I usually don't target quarterbacks because there's really not that much of a difference. I told you guys, wait on a quarterback. But Watson's one of those few guys that can be special. And if people are panicking, it's all about getting elite players. And he is, along with Mahomes, heads and shoulders above everybody else, because then you got the X factor, the legs. So he's got the weapons, he's got the offense, he's got the legs. Just because he's head and shoulders above everybody else, I think he's worth it. And Hopkins is, Devontae Adams is banged up right now. Juju has been a bust. DeAndre Hopkins can easily be the #1 wide receiver this year. Doesn't matter how you start. He could get scorching hot, rip off, a couple 20, 30-point games and be right there at #1. I expect him to be #1. I don't care where he's at right now, 4 weeks. Like I said, he is special, and he, unlike many other receivers, can, keep that going, where a lot of receivers are like, So pick up those 2 teammates. Another guy's Montgomery, guys. It's funny because the opposite of what this video teaches. I tell you guys to buy low and sell high, but it seems like the natural thing to do is sell low or buy high. It's like, oh, this person exploded. Chris Godwin, let me go get him now that he scored like 30 points. Well, Chris Godwin's worth it, don't get me wrong, but you're going to have to give up the farm for somebody like Chris Godwin right now, or Cooper Kupp. And that's why I was trying to tell you guys, get them, before the season started. I told you 4th, 5th round. That's where you could have got them. Now they're both wide receiver 1s, top 5 receivers. That was the time to get them. that ship has sailed. But there's a few other ships that haven't sailed, and one of them being David Montgomery, who still, in my opinion, has even top 5 running back appeal because now he's getting the volume. I always say follow the volume. I think he had like 23 carries. Didn't do a whole lot with it, but remember, it's Minnesota, one of the best. Okay, he's also getting, 3 or 4 targets a game. Mike Davis was inactive. That tells you all you need to know. It is David Montgomery's backfield with a little bit of Tariq Cohen. Matt Nagy finally gets it, and guess who's coming to town? Or maybe they're on the road. I don't know. No, I think maybe it's in London. I don't know. But the point is, Oakland, I got something in my mouth. Oakland, who's already bad at stopping the run, just got even worse, if that's even possible. Vontaze Burfict out for the year. Their first-round pick, Colin Farrell, will probably miss the game. Do you know what that means? If he gets 20-plus touches, plus it's perfect game script. Oakland is not going to score in Chicago, especially, what's his name, Mac. He's going to want to prove against his old team, like, oh, you guys didn't want to resign me? It's such a David Montgomery game, guys. So if you want to get rid of David Montgomery, at least give him another week, though. If he blows it against Oakland, then, okay, I'll wave the white flag. I'll be like, guys, I was wrong. I'm full of shit. I know nothing. I retire. Okay, maybe I won't do all that. But you guys get the point. At least keep him this week. He's as good as option as there possibly is. Another guy is Saquon Barkley. Might seem pretty obvious, but some teams that have Saquon are probably struggling because that's the first pick, and that means you didn't pick again to the end of the second. That talent drop-off is humongous. If there's ever a time to buy low on Barkley, and it might not even be that low, but guys, I would do what you got to do to get Barkley, because now you saw Barkley, what he did as a rookie last year. I think he was first or second in points with a horrible offensive line, with a horrible quarterback. Now the offensive line is good. Now he's got a good quarterback and a good Giants offense, believe it or not. They are putting up points. And guess what? Some more reinforcements. You got Golden Tate coming back. Shepard's been playing good. You got Evan Ingram. You got Slayton as a deep threat. This is all of a sudden a pretty potent offense, believe it or not. And you got Daniel Jones' legs. So it's going to be hard to really, a defense is always going to try to key in on Barkley, but it really didn't matter when that was all the Giants had. Now the Giants got weapons. They're still going to key in on him, but it's going to be harder. It's going to be harder, and Barkley's going to go nuts. So even if you get even the slightest discount, I would trade Melvin Gordon and a receiver. Somebody asked me if they should trade Kamara for Barkley. I said yes. Depending, if you have a winning record, at least 2-2, and you got some depth that you could cover for the next week, maybe 2. But he might even play next week against New England on Thursday night. So if there's ever a time to buy Barkley, guys, ever a time, I don't think you'll ever get a discount. If you missed on that first pick, or maybe you went second or third, whatever the case may be, do what you got to do, especially if you have another running back. Let's say you have a Kamara or Nick Chubb, or now Montgomery's ascending, and you pair that guy up with the Barkley, go do it. Calvin Ridley, been high on Ridley. I think I've even mentioned him maybe as a hold or something in this video, in one of these videos, but I'm sticking to my guns. Again, if DeAndre Hopkins struggled, we're giving him a pass. Devontae Adams struggled against good corners. Good players, even good players struggle. Okay? His last 2 weeks, he had the tougher matchups. He played Desir from Indianapolis Colts, and then last week he played Adoree Jackson. 2 very, very young and up-and-coming corners. Use that to your advantage. Some people were skeptical on Ridley already, had them as their wide receiver 3. Now he has 2 bad games. They're like, He still has wide receiver 2 to top 15 upside. He's still Calvin Ridley. He's still great at separating. One of the best route runners in the game. Go get him. It's peanuts on the dollars. People are asking me if they should drop him. No. This guy's a wide receiver too, and you could probably get him as your wide receiver 3 or 4 and then trade somebody else and then put him in the lineup. You could do so much by buying low on these super talented players. He's in a passing offense, a throwing offense with a bad defense. They're going to be throwing every single week. They're going to be in shootouts. That's who you want. And, of course, I keep mentioning this as well. If something were to happen to Julio, you could even have wide receiver 1 upside. Get you some Calvin Ridley. And then another pair of teammates. Now, this is more for people. Again, I'm all about, making sure that you guys are ahead of the game. If you can't tell by now, if you haven't watched my videos, that's what I'm about. Always being one step ahead. So this is for you guys that have been with me all off season. Your teams are absolutely killing it. You're 3-1, you're 4-0. This is the way you keep that foot on the throttle. Golladay and Kerryon Johnson, 2 teammates. They're on a bye. And that's why I said, if you're a winning team, you could afford this luxury. And, those that you have been with me, hopefully you're building depth where you can afford to give some players away and you got some players on your bench that you could plug in. But, yeah, if you have a winning record, this is how you stay ahead, guys. Go for guys like Kerryon Johnson. 20 carries in week 3, 26 carries in week 4. He's basically dominating that backfield. How many running backs can you say dominate their backfield? Zeke, Barkley, Kamara now, CMC, maybe Montgomery now, and Kerryon Johnson. There's 5 or 6. That's it. That's it. He's getting a couple targets. I would like to see more of that. Now, this is what happens in the bye too, guys. Remember, Kerryon Johnson missed last year with an injury, season-ending injury. Okay, sometimes it takes a while to get back in rhythm. The offensive line has been bad. Kerryon Johnson's very talented. Just watch his film. Very talented. But this is what happens in the bye weeks. Bye weeks is the time to fix some of those loose ends. So maybe their offensive line improves. Not saying they will, but it's possible. Guys, give their body time to recover. Maybe they tighten up some things in the offensive line. Now you take this player with all this volume, with all this talent, hopefully with an improved offensive line. And when you get that sort of volume, when you're the goal line back, 20-plus carries and got all the snaps, you have a pretty high floor. Now, I will say this. You got to cuff him with Ty Johnson because anytime you are getting that type of volume, especially with a player with his injury history, it can be risky. It could be risky, but it's worth the risk because you could probably get him for peanuts for somebody that's desperate, somebody that needs to win now. He hasn't exactly blown, the doors off. That's who you want to go with. And then Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay is right now a top 10 receiver, but he's on a bye. And I don't think people still see Kenny Golladay in that light, but he could be. And he's 1 out of 5 receivers, I believe, don't quote me, 4 or 5, that have a 20% target share in every game. I think it's him, DeAndre Hopkins, Cooper Kupp, and I forget the other 2. That's big, guys. That means you have a safe floor, even though he had a bomb game week 3. But Kenny Golladay is one of those special players that even when the going gets tough, he has such an amazing catch radius that you just throw the ball up and he's just so athletic. I've seen him do more miraculous plays against the top corners than maybe any other receiver besides maybe DeAndre Hopkins. Like, this guy makes plays with the toughest matchups. That's why it's crazy because Philadelphia had that easy matchup and he had 3 points. And then who did he play this past week? I mean, Kansas City's not that good. But anyway, he's the type of player. And Matt Stafford's that type of quarterback. Like, he might bomb against bad teams, but then he'll do good against good teams. So Kenny Golladay is somebody you want to get. And again, take advantage of an owner that might need a win now. And they're like, well, this player's not doing me any good. He's on a bye week. For you guys that are in the lead, this is how you keep the lead. Don't let up now. Don't get all comfortable. I'm 3-1. I'm 4. No. You keep pushing, push. Now for my sell list. Everybody who follows my content, this is not going to surprise anybody, but it's Todd Gurley. Gurley, 11, 15, 4. Now he had 26, and he didn't really look that good because I think he had did I write it here? I don't know. He had 12, 14, 15 carries for 35 yards. Terrible. But he got saved. He got saved by 2 touchdowns. It's not every game there's going to be, 40, 50-point shootouts. And not every game you're going to get the ball right there at the goal line. So the game flow allowed him. But if you watch, something's not right. And he's also not going to get 7 targets. He got 7 targets because, again, Goff threw the ball 68 times or whatever he threw, over 60 times. So Gurley's not going to get 7 targets, believe that. And I'm hearing whispers that it's going to be Malcolm Brown time very, very soon. So I'm not even picky right now about Gurley. Gurley's been on my sell list before, but I hate to tell you guys, this is your last opportunity. Don't blow it. And trade for Malcolm Brown. Trade for Malcolm Brown. Or pick him up on your waivers. Some of you guys even got Malcolm Brown on your waivers. Jarvis Landry. This is the perfect example of the perfect sell high player. Jarvis Landry's games, 11, 8, 9, 24. Perfect time, guys. Like, get rid of him like yesterday. If you drafted Landry, you obviously didn't see my video where I said wasted picks. He was right on the cover. He's on the thumbnail. Landry, he is what he is. He is in a pool of like 100 receivers that are just hit or miss. How are you supposed to trust somebody like that? I don't want players like that. I want players with high floors, not low floors, not players you could trust. You don't know where to start them. Most of you guys, that had Landry probably went off on your bench. So now, and the good thing about Landry too is he's got name recognition. Take advantage of people that just like, oh, Jarvis Landry, I know that name. Cleveland Browns, he had led the league in receptions like a couple years ago. That's in the past, guys. That's in the past. Get rid of Landry. Again, somebody like Landry, you could say it's a sell high, but I don't think you're going to get much for him. But if you could even get a Malcolm Brown, I would take a Malcolm Brown for Landry, yes. I mean, 11, 8, 9. Malcolm Brown, at least, if and when Gurley gets hurt, could be an RB1. I'll take Malcolm Brown for Landry. That's a perfect example. I'm not picky. Certain players I'm not picky about selling. And that's one of them. Anybody could do that, guys. We could find a receiver, who could get you 11, 9 points? Autumn Tate, whatever his name is for the Bengals. Now that John Ross is out, he could do that. He's on waivers right now. Another sell is this quarterback climate today. It's kind of weird. We thought quarterback, I think, was going to be a lot deeper than it was. There's been a lot of disappointments at quarterback, if you think about it. Goff has been a disappointment. Cam Newton, Drew Brees. I mean, obviously some of it's to injury, but Mitch Trubisky, Sam Darnold hasn't played. Winston started off slow, and now it's turning it up. I mean, quarterback has been a real cesspool. That's a great opportunity for you guys if you own Russell Wilson, who's number 3 in all the quarterbacks, to use that to your advantage. Some people like trading for quarterbacks. I think quarterbacks are a dime a dozen. Russell Wilson, he's one of those weird guys. Look, Russell Wilson, he had 20, then 30, then 45, and then against the best matchup ever, the Arizona Cardinals, 16. He tends to do that sometimes. So why not sell him high? You could find another Russell Wilson. You could get Jameis Winston or Josh Allen or Sam Darnold who can give you similar numbers. Use that to your advantage because, again, another guy with a big name, and you can say, look, I'm giving you the 3rd best quarterback in the league. This dude gets 30, 45 points. You'd be silly not to give me, I don't know, pick a player, Tevin Coleman or, I don't know, guys. You could make a package. Give me Tevin Coleman or Royce Freeman or give me, I don't know, whatever. But, and I'm including a teammate, Lockett is the same thing. Lockett, 11 points, which that first game he had 2 targets. Then he had 18, then he had 35, then he had 10 again against Arizona. Like, Lockett's another one of those guys. You think he's got the juiciest matchup? It's like, oh, shit, Lockett, Arizona with those corners. 10 points, 4 targets. The only person I'm really trusting, well, I'll let you. I'm going to use him later on in the video. But, yeah, so Lockett, Russell Wilson, Lockett, you could sell high again. He's 8th right now. 8th receiver in the league. That's his high. Like, he can't get, what do you think? He's going to be top 5? No. So I like selling players. Not that Lockett's a bad receiver, but he's hit or miss. And he's always been that way. And that's not going to change. Okay? So, yeah, how do you go for like 14 targets to 2 and 4? Like, I don't like that. So sell him at a C. Not that I don't like Lockett. Like I said, not that I don't like Russ. I'm just trying to get you the maximum bang for your buck. And right now, they're at their peak. Another guy who's at his peak, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, 22. He had 28, 17, 11, 11. This is, and I've mentioned this before, when it comes to non-pass catching backs like Derrick Henry, they could get 100 yards, which he did, 27 carries, 100 yards, still only got 11 points because he gives you close to nothing in the passing game. And I hate, if you're in PPR, it's like you're in PPR and you're getting a half a running back. PPR, you want players that catch the ball. So why would you get a running back, and people are picking him in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, that only does half? Half. You're getting a half a player. Sell him. Because now you got name recognition, Derrick Henry. You got, hey guys, I'm giving you the 8th best running back in fantasy. You need to give me ante up, bro. Do it. Do it. You could get Derrick Henry. You could get Tevin Coleman or Royce Freeman. 2 names you could tell. These guys are low, but they got some upside, believe it. And then you could get another receiver if you need a receiver. That's a great trade because I think Tevin Coleman and or Royce Freeman can do exactly what Derrick Henry is going to do the rest of the year, if not better. And then you could get an extra piece on top of that. That's the way to do it, guys. Another guy, Ingram. Ingram is like the Derrick Henry clone. He really is. He really is. Look at these games. 22-9, 35-8. I can't trust somebody like that. 8, anybody could get you 8. Alexander Madison's backing up Dalvin Cook. He's got 8 one of these games, 10, 11, something. I can't, I like players that go off, but then, I'm expecting, and then the matchup was great. Ingram, who did he face? Cleveland. Cleveland's good against the pass, not the run. So why? And he's the number 6 running back in fantasy. Bro, I'm giving you the 6th running back. I really don't want to do this, man, but I need help at receiver, or, I'm looking for running back depth or whatever, or package Ingram with another receiver and go after a Chubb or go after, I don't know. You guys figure that out. But I'm just saying, do you really think Ingram is going to be the 6th best running back at the end of the year? Hell no. We'd be lucky if he's top 15. That's when you sell. That's when you sell. Because he's only going to keep going down. Especially, you got Gus Edwards waiting in the wings. I don't like when, the starter has somebody just as good right behind him. Ingram's never had to carry the full load. He is close to 30 years old. That sounds to me like an injury risk. And then the last guy is Robert Woods. Now, Robert Woods is a receiver I've been really high on the last couple of years, but seems to be a changing of the guard. It's all about Cooper Kupp. Then Cooper Kupp's going to be the only consistent wide receiver on that team. Robert Woods coming off a big game. Now, Robert Woods ain't going to get you, I don't know how many targets he had, but he had like 14, 15 targets. Remember, Goff threw the ball 68 times. The next time he plays a football game, he's going to throw half as many passes or close to it. He's going to throw between 30 and 35. He threw like 68 or something ridiculous. So those targets are not going to be there. Robert Woods, I thought I wrote it here. But anyway, he hasn't had very many good games. He had one decent game. He had 16 points his first week, and then he had like 2 single-digit games, and then he had a really good game against Tampa Bay. He's not going to always play Tampa Bay. Goff's not going to always throw 68 passes. It's all about Cooper Kupp. So, again, it's one of those situations where you want to get the maximum return, and you don't want players. Why do you think I told you guys to get Tyler Boyd, Cooper Kupp, Chris Godwin? Why? Why do you think I never mentioned Amari Cooper, Tyler Lockett, T.Y. Hilton? Those are all good players. But I tell you to get guys with lots of targets, volume. Why? Because they're not going to kill you. They're going to always keep you in the game. That's why I also tell you to get pass-catching backs. Because if Tennessee's behind, guess who's irrelevant? Derrick Henry. Same thing with Mark Ingram. I'm trying to get you guys at a high platform, so this way your 1 or 2 stars can carry you. So as long as all your players are getting between 10 and 15, and then your studs, that 3-headed monster, is getting you like 18 to 25, that's a winning formula, a proven formula that I'm trying to share with you. Now for your holds. This is weird because I didn't know whether to put him as a buy or a hold, but I put him as a hold. Somebody I haven't really been mentioning at all. You didn't hear me mention him at all this offseason. Somebody I actually loved coming out of college, because this guy, Leonard Fournette, his talent is up there with Gurley, with Zeke. He has that type of generational talent. But remember, I'm all about safety. I'm all about best ability is availability, which is why I don't mention to you guys injury-prone players, which is why I said stay away from Devontae Freeman, stay away from Sony Michel, stay away from Todd Gurley. But 29 carries, 225 yards, guys, on the road against Denver, who up to that game had a good rushing defense, and last year also was one of the top rushing defenses. Difference, he's finally got an O-line now. Cam Robinson, that was his first game back, I believe, from injury. All the difference in the world, guys. And it's not like Leonard Fournette didn't have the talent. Now, obviously the injury risk is still there. But now is this young stallion, who I mentioned in the last video, Rock Armstead. So he's available on almost every waiver wire, except for maybe yours, because you guys probably got him already. So now you just guaranteed yourself by getting the pair a top 5 to 7 running backs. Easy. So a lot of people are asking me to sell. Should I sell Leonard Fournette? And the crap. You should see. Go look at my comments. People are asking me today. Leonard Fournette, I forget who it was. Should I trade Leonard Fournette for Marlon? I'm like, did you not see what he just did? You know, because everybody's in that. Just because a player has a good game. See, guys, I hope you don't think that all my sell highs are because a player had a good game. Chris Godwin had a good game. I'm not telling you to sell him. Cooper Kupp had a good game. I'm not telling you to sell him. Galladay had a good game. I'm not telling you to sell him. It's not about selling players off a good game. No. It's about selling players off a good game where that's an anomaly. That's their best game of the year. Or they'll have one other one. Like Landry will have like 1 or 2 other good games. That's what it's about. It's about getting maximum return and selling an illusion that so many of you fall for because you're a victim of the now. It's like, oh, this player played good. I want him. Except with Leonard Fournette because he's had such a stench for so long. But, guys, again, it's one of those situations like Kerryon Johnson where he's getting all the volume, 29 carries, which is also scary with the injury, but now you don't have to worry about it. You can sleep at night. So he's either a buy or a hold. If you got him, don't get rid of him, guys. He is going to be an RB1, top 5 probably running back the rest of the year as long as he's injured, as long as he's not injured. And then if something happens, you got Rock, you plug him in, he's going to do the same thing or similar to it. He's that good. If you didn't watch my last video, 220 pounds, 5'11", runs a 4.45, and could catch the football. Love Leonard Fournette. It feels good to say that too because I loved Leonard Fournette. Coming out of college, I loved him. I drafted him. I won a championship with Leonard Fournette his rookie year. And I had him last year too, unfortunately. So that's why I simmered on him this year. But he looks focused. He looks focused. He looks good. And as long as you got the cuff, you're good. And Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd has double-digit targets in every single game but this last one. Now, he struggled the last 2 games, but this is why you got to know what you're doing. You got to read between the lines. Okay? And I'm glad that you guys are watching this. Some of you guys don't have the time. This is my full-time job. Tyler Boyd, the last 2 weeks, played against Buffalo. Nobody does shit against Buffalo. If you haven't noticed, Tom Brady looked like freaking Case Keenum or worse. And then his last game was against Pittsburgh. I don't know what happened. Oh, I do know what happened to that defense. It's called Minka Fitzpatrick. Great save. That defense is one of the – Pittsburgh's now top 5 defense. Them, San Francisco, Chicago, I don't know, Minnesota, Buffalo, New England, obviously. So Pittsburgh's the top 5 defense, fantasy and reality. And Mike Hinton, their slot corner, is one of the best in the league as well. So don't be a victim of the now. Follow the volume, follow the talent. There's nobody else. John Ross just got put on IR. They're going to be playing from behind. They're going to be throwing a lot. He's the safety valve. Follow the volume. Double-digit targets in every game but this last game. Tyler Boyd, hold him or buy him. Low if you can. Most of my holds, if you don't got him, buy him. Cooper Kupp, just mentioned him. Again, he's one of 5 receivers that has a 20% target share. Follow the volume. Throwing offense. They're probably going to be without Gurley. They aren't running the ball for shit. He's the guy. 6'4", going against these little midgets, a team's third corner. He's going to get his. He's got double-digit targets, I think, in every game but his first game. Even against Carolina, which, that's another defense. Carolina has been lights out. You can start them every week with confidence. I don't care who's the matchup. They made Watson look like a pedestrian out there. They are for real. Great pass rush, great secondary, great quarterback at the defensive position, talking about Luke Kuechly. They are for real, but so is Cooper Kupp. So you want to hold him. Again, he's not going to get 20 points every game, even though he has been. But still, he's going to be as safe, as efficient as they come. Number 2 wide receiver. Well, I told you guys to get in the 4th round, and everybody thought that was too early. I said, a potential wide receiver 1 in the 4th round early? What are you guys smoking? Obviously, I knew what the hell I was talking about. Next guy, Courtland Sutton. Another guy I was telling you. I told everybody, guys, Flacco sucks. But the one thing Flacco does is produce wide receiver 2s. And not good receivers. Mike Wallace, Anquan Bolden, all these old receivers would go to Baltimore. Their career's dead in the water, and Flacco will resurrect them. Which is weird because Flacco sucks. I'll be the first to tell you that. He's horrible. But he produces wide receiver 2s in his sleep. Mike Wallace, dead in the water, wide receiver 2. Steve Smith, old-ass Steve Smith, dead in the water, wide receiver 2. Anquan Bolden, Arizona, he washed up, wide receiver 2. John Brown last year, before Flacco got benched, was a wide receiver 2. He was dead. John Brown. So I said, guys, you could draft Courtland Sutton as your 4th receiver. He was going like 9th, 10th round. And I said, he's a Brandon Marshall clone. Look my stuff up. My rap, my 2019 rap. I said Sutton. Get Sutton. Number 14 receiver right now. Now, will he stay the 14th best receiver in fantasy? I think it's possible. I'm not saying it's probable. But he's definitely a wide receiver too, because I already told you he was going to be a wide receiver too. I said slam dunk wide receiver too. It was like the 30th something receiver taken off the board. I said slam dunk. 14th best. Oh, and the Jaguars are pretty good defense. And he lit them up. 2 touchdowns. He's for real, guys. Because talent over everything. He's talented. As bad as Flacco is, keep you supporting son. And the last guy is, I kind of alluded to him earlier, is Disley. Disley's for real, guys. He was a rookie last year. He had like 4 touchdowns in the first couple of weeks, or 2 touchdowns first 4 games. I forget. I don't remember stats. Russell Wilson said yesterday, this kid's a star in the making. Guess what? Seattle doesn't have a lot of pass catchers. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett's a deep threat. He is their red zone guy. Russell Wilson is arguably the most accurate quarterback in the league. So he doesn't even need that many targets, because if he gets 6 targets, he's going to catch all 6 of them, because Russell Wilson's that good. Opportunity, talent meets opportunity, perfect storm. Will Disley's for real. You do not have to trade him off. Even though Arizona sucks against tight ends, he's for real. He's going to be consistent in today's climate. He is for sure a top 10 tight end, possibly in the middle too. So definitely hold on to Will Disley. If you got him, kudos to you on that, because you got him for, cheap or on the waiver or whatever. So that concludes today's show. Hope you guys got some valuable information. If you did, please, before you leave, give me a thumbs up. Give me a subscribe. I'm getting close to that 1,000. That's the minimum I need to make money off YouTube. And I put in a lot of work, a lot of effort, and I try to help as many people as I can. So I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, just comment. Follow me on Instagram at fantasyfootballrapper, or Twitter at IamFFRapper. And until next time, guys, peace. We out here.